Okay, talking just a moment about why we're here and again, why this is so important. I look back at the beginning of my own consideration of home education to when I was in college. I was at Appalachian State University, and my Sunday school teacher, when I was in college, homeschooled his children. And so this was in like 93. And I went to his house for Bible study and fellowship, and I watched his family. And I watched the kids, and I watched what was happening in the living room as they gathered around. And I thought, and Dana, my wife, was there in college with me, and I thought, that's what I want. I want my family to be like this and to look like this. And it was about 15 years ago we first came to this conference, before it was called Thrive, and we have not missed a year since, because it has made such an important impact on our lives, and the ministry of North Carolinians for Home Education has made such an important impact on our lives, and that's why we also started getting involved. And so I've been on the board for NCHE for about 5 years, and for the last couple of years, I've been serving as president. And so recently, as of the beginning of this year, the board for North Carolinians for Home Education has created a new full-time position, executive director, for our organization, because we knew that we really needed to spend a lot more time and energy and focus on what was happening and how we could reach people and how we could continue to increase our ministry. And so I took the job. So now I am full-time working as executive director. I've been in pastoral ministry for about 25 years. And so this is a new part of life, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to minister in a different way. And so love your prayers for us, for our board, as we're heading in that direction. So we're here, and you're here also, first and foremost, for our own children, right? I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but our heart is for our children. Our heart, my wife and me, is for our children to be able to be prepared for life, to be prepared for God's call on their lives, whatever that may be, to be prepared to deal with the world that they're walking into. What kind of world are they walking into? I'm not sure. It's kind of forming in front of us, isn't it? There's a lot of changes going on. There's a lot of resistance to parental rights or to religious freedom or to biblical conviction. And our children not only need to survive in this environment, but we want them to thrive. We want them to lead. We want them to be influencers and be strong. And so this is our desire. And our desire for NCHE is to help parents homeschool with confidence and joy. Why do we use those two words? Confidence and joy. Well, because one of the reasons people struggle in home education is because we're not sure we're doing it right. We're not sure we really have what it takes to get it done, right? Probably I'm ruining my kids. And that's what they told me I would do, and I probably am. And so we have a lack of confidence, but we don't have to have a lack of confidence, because we can, by faith, know that God's given us what we need, and we can't forget that we have a community. We have people around us who can help us do what God's called us to do. So we want to be able to homeschool with confidence. And what about joy? It's a long road. Well, it was just Kathy and some of the others were just saying that they've been homeschooling for 30 years and they're not even done. That's a long road. It gets tired. It gets old. You can be discouraged. People are tempted to quit, but we can have joy, right? We can have joy in what's happening and strength and steadfastness, even though it's long and even though it's hard. So that's what we want, confidence and joy, and we can have that. And our goal, North Carolinians for Home Education in this conference, is to equip people to homeschool in that way. And we do that in 3 ways, and you can see this on the slide here: protecting, equipping, and connecting. So we want to equip parents. Well, let me start with protecting, right? We want to protect the rights of parents in North Carolina to homeschool. We want to equip you with the information and encouragement you need to keep going and to connect you with the support system. Okay, it's very similar to the 3 words we use for thrive, except it's a little different. The big difference is protect. Now, I want to take just a couple of minutes to talk about protection. Did you know that there was a time that it was not legal to homeschool in North Carolina? Did you know that people were actually arrested in the 80s for not fulfilling attendance policy? Okay, what happened? Well, in the 80s, this was taking place, and in 1984, North Carolinians for Home Education was first established before it was legal to homeschool, to begin to talk about this and know what to do. That was the first year they actually already had a conference and published a Greenhouse magazine, which is the same magazine that we still publish. It was in 1985 that the North Carolina Supreme Court handed out a ruling that actually made homeschool legal in North Carolina. But then there was a brand new battle because there were folks who wanted to control homeschooling in the home pretty severely. Like you had to have a college degree, you had to have a 6-hour day, you had to use state curriculum, et cetera, et cetera. And so North Carolinians for Home Education was saying that's not what we have in mind for home education. What we have in mind is something where we are able to teach our children what our convictions are and have the ability to do that with freedom. And so there was a great battle that took place. I mean, there were people on the board of North Carolinians for Home Education who were tirelessly working and making phone calls and lobbying and visiting Raleigh and meeting legislators and doing everything that was necessary to make sure that the legislation that was going to go through to determine what homeschooling would look like would be friendly, would be what it's like today. I think you probably know this is one of the best places to homeschool in North Carolina. Well, it's because of, our forefathers. I mean, for the folks who really fought that battle, right? And so it was in 1988 that one of the members of the board of NCHE began writing the legislation that we're basically operating on today that gives us the kind of freedom that we have. So I'm pretty grateful for that. And I'm grateful that we continue to protect. This is what we do, okay? As new executive director, I had the opportunity to go with Spencer Mason, who's chair of our Law and Policy Committee, and we went to Raleigh, and I was able to go around and meet the legislators and meet people and talk about homeschooling, okay? We also had Capitol Fest. Did anybody in here happen to go to Capitol Fest? Okay, good. And so we were able to meet legislators again and be enforced. I mean, there were a bunch of people there. How many people were there? Over 1,000 homeschool members were there. And do you think they noticed that? Okay. So, and what was our message? We just went around and met people and said, hey, we like the laws, don't change them. We like it. And we're still here and we're still watching. Okay. So that's one of the things we do. As we go forward in the conference, I want to share with you a little more about how we equip and how we connect. Okay. Now, here's good news. If you are here and registered for the conference, you had the opportunity to select to become a member of North Carolinians for Home Education. And all you had to do was click. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Maybe you don't even know if you did. If you did, congratulations, you're a member of North Carolinians for Home Education. And there are a lot of things that you're going to be able to receive, like the Greenhouse magazine. And there's some other things that I want to explain to you that you're going to be able to enjoy as a member as we go through the rest of the conference. If you're not sure you did, okay, or if you didn't do it, then you can go to NCHE.com right now, or whenever, not right now, Sam's coming up, and you can join with a donation of any amount, and then as we go forward, you're going to see all that's going on and how exciting it is.